Hey, can you find a water bottle for me?
Something so simple.
Hi, Max Brantley with the Arkansas Times on Monday, June the 11th. Well, it's a slow news day, and it's a good time to say that since a wealth of news stories last week about bribery, corruption, and ethical misdeeds and incompetence in state government, no leadership has yet emerged from either political party or any office of government to decry what's been revealed and to do anything about it. Nobody's called for an audit of preferred family health care, which still has some $40 million worth of state business that it got by corrupt means some years ago, although they replaced some officers. Some people are still there who were part of the operation when they built this colossus. Nobody's talked about doing anything that says that a healthcare organization paying $500,000 in so-called legal fees to a sitting state senator, Jeremy Hutchinson, if it is legal, perhaps should be subject to more disclosure laws and perhaps some discouragement from having paid lawyers, so-called, sitting in the Senate doing the bidding of people paying them lots of money. No call for that. No call to reopen the procedure of the State Medical Marijuana Commission, which apparently was approached by somebody offering a bribe, whose work has been marked by numbers of conflicts of interest and incompetence in grading of the applications to grow marijuana in Arkansas. Still nothing on any of that. Well, that's Arkansas. Perhaps this is the swamp Donald Trump was talking about. Big news on the health care front. Last week, I mentioned that the federal government had gone into court in a federal court suit brought by Attorney General Leslie Rutledge of Arkansas, seeking to end the Affordable Care Act for all time, to neuter the provision that requires insurance companies to provide coverage to people with pre-existing medical conditions. Heart, lung, diabetes, other serious ailments can be covered now. It was a godsend, life-saving, in fact, to tens of thousands of people. Well, the federal government and Leslie Rutledge want to stop that. The Democratic Party has decided perhaps that's a political issue they can use. They've begun running a series of TV advertising, including the 2nd District, to point out to people the Republicans are bound and determined to ruin their health care coverage. Will that help Clark Tucker in the race in 2nd District Congress? The Democratic Congressional Campaign Committee thinks perhaps it's running some of those ads here. Here's good news from the Trump administration. Dak Keys, who's a new U.S. attorney in western Arkansas, in Fort Smith and Fayetteville, gave a great interview to the Fort Smith newspaper in which he said his priority is going to be going after undocumented immigrants who commit crimes, not just being in the country without papers. He says there's no point in arresting somebody who's been in the country for 20 years, perhaps without documents, but living legally and contributing. That just tears up the community. This is a wonderful bit of compassion and common sense from a Trump administration appointee. Good news any way you look at it. Well, the U.S. Supreme Court today said Ohio may proceed with massive voter purges of people who fail to vote in a single federal election. They do it more aggressively than any other state. It has the effect of disproportionately affecting poor people and minority people in major urban counties. Guess what? They tend to vote Democratic. This is all part of the Republican Party voter purge strategy that has produced some pretty important edges in several swing states. The North Little Rock City government, Mayor Joe Smith by name, has decided to bring economic development efforts in-house. It'll be part of city government and they'll pay the salary. No more outsourcing this work to other people and giving the money to a private contractor who isn't accountable under the Freedom of Information Act. That's good news for sure. Well, this news over the weekend, the President of the United States, Donald Trump, more or less declared war on trade against Canada, one of our best friends and allies for centuries, somebody for whom we have a favorable trade balance, by the way. But as he was rejecting Canada and rejecting people like France and other great allies of long standing, he was embracing the evil empire Russia. You know where this leads. Resist. I'm Max Brantley. I'll be back tomorrow.